You're listening to the CFMEU Mining and Energy podcast.
Yes, good to have your company. I'm Tim Brunero. Well, we knew BHP's Operations Services Agreements were dodgy from the start, and that's exactly what the full bench of the Fair Work Commission has found. It's been a long legal process, but the Commission has finally binned the shonky OS agreements, which now cover 3,400 workers, mostly in central Queensland. These agreements were voted up by a handful of iron ore workers in the West, and the Commission found there was no genuine agreement from these workers, making the EAs invalid. This is a fantastic victory for workers against BHP. And like anything important, it's been all over the news.
The state's peak mining union has been calling for change to labour hire contracts since operational services roles began. And now it's been successful, with the Fair Work Commission dismissing two of BHP's enterprise agreements.
It means that workers now have an opportunity for a say over their working conditions. And it's fair to say OS workers are looking forward to that.
But I can tell you what, the reaction from all the boys and girls that I'm working with, mate, is they're absolutely stoked. They're actually stoked that they've got an opportunity to actually renegotiate now on something a lot better.
That's Brodie Allen, an OS worker at Blackwater Mine in the Bowen Basin.
What we want essentially is already what most BHP employees already have. Tim, we just want accident pay. We want that built into the EA. We want guaranteed bonus or a bonus structure, not just at the company's discretion. We also want security around the site location that we actually work at. We don't really want to actually have to work on the other side of the country, mate, further away from our families. Christmas and Boxing Day is a big one, mate. We want them days off so we can spend it with our friends and family. We want protection on the rosters, the hours of work and redundancies actually built into the EA. And we want defined pay increases, mate, because at the moment there are none scheduled for us.
Mitch Hughes, Queensland District Senior Vice President, says BHP should do the right thing now that they've been publicly shamed by the Fair Work Commission.
The ideal situation would be for BHP to do two things. Firstly, apologise to their OS workers for lying to them and giving them that false sense of hope and security. The second thing that BHP should do is employ all those OS workers under their current existing arrangements and agreements at those pits where they're working. In reality, I don't think BHP are going to do either of those things. So what we need to do is get them to the table and negotiate a fairer set of terms and conditions and start from the start. We've got a clean slate. Those agreements are dead. So let's start from the start and negotiate something decent.
Mitch says it's unlikely BHP will do the right thing, so the union will be staying on the front foot in coming weeks.
So the next step for us is to get BHP to the negotiating table. They need to come and negotiate a fair, transparent set of terms and conditions for the OS workers, and that process of negotiations and the agreement that comes out of it needs to address all the issues that the OS workers are facing right now, everything from their flights right through to issues such as changing shifts and rosters.
And for OS workers like Brodie Allen, these negotiations have to include site-specific grievances as well.
What BHP are doing with us at my particular site, mate, is they're treating us like second-class citizens. It's disgusting. We finish our swing, most of us will bus back to the town that we fly out of. We're required, before we start that final shift, to hand our keys to our room, straight into the camp office, mate. Then we get set and go off to work. We get given a code to put our bags and all our other belongings that we have to lug to and from camp. We put them in there. We do our shift. When we finish our shift, they don't allow us any time or access to the bathhouse that's on site to actually get changed or have a shower, mate. We get bussed straight from the pit back to the camp in a 10-minute turnaround time. We jump onto the bus and head on that 4-hour trek back to the town. And then even on top of that, mate, some of them actually have another couple of hours on a plane before they even arrive home. It's absolutely disgusting, mate, the way that they treat us here. We're not allowed to even eat.
But Mitch says he does need something from OS workers to get the best possible outcome.
What we need the OS workers and members to do is get involved in the campaign. We've been out on site doing right of entries every week, so we're on site in the crib rooms, visiting and talking to those OS workers. They need to listen, they need to get involved, and when the time comes, they need to back us.
Yes, a great result. But now the hard work begins of working together to achieve a better deal for OS workers. Remember to keep up to date with issues affecting OS workers at thinkfairbhp.com.au.